and so on and so forth. So I did this presentation, and I was like late for every deadline getting it done, and I was driving my Bright Edge contact insane. And I finally got it in, and they said, well, can you add some things to the presentation, like a little bit of bio and stuff like that. So I added my bio, and real quick, I've been doing SEO since before it was called SEO. I was an independent consultant, and by that I mean black hat, evil spammer. Who had a blog in like 2004? Hands? I'm sorry for all those Viagra links, that was me. I spent a lot of time at agencies, and about a year ago I went in-house at Salesforce, and that's been glorious. No more fighting for budget and money and please do things. Speaker, writer, legend in my own mind. I've been called a pioneer of the industry, which roughly translates to dinosaur, but like the cool dinosaur that was going to eat Jeff Goldblum. I mean, that's, you know, little arms. Matt Cutts does it really good, if you've seen that video. And then they said, you have to add an agenda. We want an agenda. So I put the Bright Edge agenda in it. And then I sent it in, and they emailed me back and said, do you want us to delete that slide? I said, no, dude, that's my best joke of the whole thing. And then this is the actual agenda of what we're going to talk about. Maybe. We'll see. See how it goes. So I wanted to cover first, as we build through this whole list of speakers, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we even got to this search and social place. So a little bit of evolution. Charles Darwin, father of evolution and things that grew legs. So let's start with on-page optimization. On-page optimization was your page entirely in isolation. And this is how the search engines looked at it. They had no context whatsoever. All they had was title tags, meta descriptions, body content, alt tags, all that kind of stuff. And it was basically if you put Viagra on your page 1,000 times and somebody else did it 1,001 times, they would win. And so this is how we would do it over and over and over, and page and page and page, using all kinds of crazy software. So that was on-page optimization. Then along comes Google and says, we've solved spam, off-page optimization. We're going to use links, and we're going to use PageRank. And this is all about context. About 37 seconds after Sergey said that, we went, oh my God, PageRank flows downhill. And we started phoning people, hey, for 50 bucks, can I have a link on your website? And all of a sudden, we had more spam again. Push button marketing, guest books, blog comments, that was already touched on, paying off DMOZ editors to get in that directory, that sort of thing. And it was all about votes. Google said links are like votes, but not all votes are equal, so on and so forth. You're all familiar with this. After that comes vertical search. And Google really pioneered this and said, you know what, if you're searching for things, you probably want to look at things in certain verticals. Like you might only be interested in finding the video of that dude that hit A-Rod intentionally with a pitch because A-Rod's being a giant tool about all this, you know, all the drugs and such like that. Or you might want just news. You might want current news. If you're searching for something about Apple, you may only care about what's happening today. Or if you're searching for something about Salesforce, you may only care that we're the most innovative company in the world 3 years in a row. Yeah, nice a little plug for where I work, right? And then they decided to take all these verticals and go, well, we've got people searching over on our blog search. We've got people searching on our shopping engine. And this is all really great. But we're not actually sending people there directly. And if you recall, they were moving the navigation all over the page and doing all this testing. And it was not working. And so they said, well, we spent all this time and money to create vertical search. So let's just mash it all into our regular search page. And we'll call it universal search. And this is where you get what we have largely today, where you search for Metallica, and you've got images and video and news, and now they're populating songs, and all. And universal search has really gotten out of hand because a lot of the time, you don't even have to leave Google, right? So, you know, if I was a Metallica fan, which of course I am, and I built, you know, my homage to Metallica website, nobody may even come to it anymore because it's all right here. Then comes personalization. Personalization is really the first step into social. Personalization started with where you are because now Google's spying on you. Interestingly enough, I think Google has more information about you than the NSA, but nobody's freaking out about that. So you got location, they know where you're searching from, they know what you've searched for, and they know a few other little things about you, and this is where it starts to get social. Right? They started to tie together different profiles on Yelp and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of starts being voting again, right? And this is where everybody started to freak out. Oh, I'm going to use an incognito browser. I'm going to start browsing through proxies. I'm going to mess it all up. I'm going to screw Google's data up. And so after this, though, we come into social. Because what you had in personalization was just, it was off page, but it was still only what was in your browser or in your phone, a few things like that. And then after all this is happening, Facebook's blowing up. Google goes, oh crap, we missed out. Let's launch Google+, and we'll get 4 people to sign up. It'll be a good test group. Then Tumblr comes along and becomes the repository for all things that make no sense in the world. Twitter comes along, and all of a sudden you've got all this more information. Who's connected on Twitter? And Google and Microsoft were sucking up the whole Twitter fire hose. And then one day they both went, oh my God, this is too much data. So they kind of backed off on that. You remember when Google was putting live Twitter feeds like into the search results? That was really creepy stuff. And it got way out of hand. So we moved into search and social. This is where we are today. And you have 80 bajillion social networks. You can have Facebook, which is everything to everybody. You can go find like some social network that's only for people that knit scarves or people that have bulldogs or other kind of weird things. So we've got all these social networks. You all just got good imaginations out there, didn't you? Like, what kind of crazy social network could I come up with? And some have worked really, really well. Facebook and Google Plus is actually growing. I think there's 7 people on it now. Others have faded away. MySpace faded away, right? It got bought by Rupert Murdoch for like $500 million and then got bought back for $35 million, which I thought was great. Remember Bebo that was big in Europe? And it got bought for, what, $800 million? And then the guy that sold Bebo to whoever it was that bought it, say AOL, yeah, this is before you, Simon. He just bought Bebo back for $1 million, which is, because he's bored, he's like, I want to have some fun, he bought it back. So I'm going to run through now just a few of how social is being integrated into the search results. The very first one is Bing and Facebook, and this was kind of one of the first really interesting ones because all of a sudden you go search Bing, and if you've let them connect everything, they're now giving you Facebook results from your friends right there in the rate rail. Now, when I sent this slide in and I was talking through with BrightEdge what I was going to say here, they go, hey, we got Bing is here and they're going to be speaking, so can you be like nice to them? I said, no, they don't send me any traffic. So anyways, I'm not going to be too terribly mean to them, but you can see I'm logged in, and I've been trying to buy a mattress lately because my mattress is like got a big cave-in the middle, and I'm going to put some books in the middle and stuff like that. I'll just buy a new mattress. When did mattresses become worth like my car? I went to Sleep Country. The cheapest mattress was like $2,400. More than my first 2 vehicles, by the way. So I went on Bing and I thought, I'm going to look for a mattress. I'm going to see if Bing and their results coupled with Facebook can help me find a mattress. So you can see here, like my one buddy's like got a picture of a bunch of stuff that he just had on his mattress. He goes, look, a bunch of stuff on my mattress. That was his post. So that was really helpful. And then I think that's like his cat on his mattress. And then another buddy of mine is like, look, here's my kid in the crib. We just bought a mattress for my baby's crib. So Facebook Bing integration, rocking and rolling, doing a lot for me. So I hardly ever use Bing, but I wanted to go see what was going on. So you can see what's happening here. They're trying to get there. And I think they're going to do a lot better, but for right now, not doing much for me. Then along comes Google Plus and authorship. They kind of tie in because what happens here is this all works if you're logged in to Gmail or anything to do with Google, right? Because all of a sudden now you go to search results and you see your friends' faces in the results. And this has been proven to be really, really huge as far as clicking on stuff. So I typed in search and social results, and there's Danny Sullivan, who I have great respect for, and if I see his face in a search result, I'm probably going to click on it and see what he had to say about something. If I see Mel Carson's face in a search result, I'm probably going to click on it. Simon, probably going to click on it. Lisa? We'll see. But this is all about being part of the Google ecosystem. And what's interesting is it's like, okay, you got to be signed in. And once again, it's kind of like voting because you see people and you got to be connected and all that kind of stuff. And so how many people are absolutely out of their mind with how fast the not provided results are rising? Right? Google's like, it's going to be like single digits. How many people are over 25% not provided? 40%, 50%. Right? So we already know that this is working because everybody's logged in. Like half of the internet is logged into something to do with Google. And you log in to look at your analytics one day, and unless you actually click log out, you're logged in forever. So this is actually doing really, really well for Google and me and the 12 other people in Google+. So they're slowly getting there, right? So this to me has got a lot more legs under it than what Bing is doing with Facebook, because this is much more real, and it's actually tied to what you're searching for a lot more directly. And then along comes, this is more just kind of some fun stuff. So just like 2 days ago, as I was putting this together, how many people read at Moz, SEO Moz, or just Moz now? Rand just put out a piece about how +1s are now, they found a correlation between +1s and SEO rankings. And of course everybody's like, oh my God, correlation, which they love to say. SEO Moz is all about correlation, which can be very, very interesting. But it's very hard to tie correlation to causation. And then the same day that came out, this was the cartoon on XKCD, or KXCD, or whatever it is. And I laughed a lot, and if you get it, you're as big a nerd as I am. But they said, so the +1s now correlate to search results, but only if you're logged in. And the same, Matt Cutts has even come out with a video saying, look, yes, +1s impact your search results if you're logged in. Of course they do. It's part of your social circle and what you're interested in, what you're looking at. So we're getting to the point of just being completely saturated and search results being different for everybody. We're running rank reports all the time to look at what we're ranking for. And I don't see what my buddy at the next desk sees, what my CEO sees, all that kind of stuff. So now we're going to run through a few other pieces that are a little bit separate from Google and Bing as far as the search engines go. And a lot of this stuff has been hit on a lot today, so I didn't include any numbers about how many hundreds of hours of video are getting put up all the time. We got all that this morning, and I'm glad because I just was lazy and didn't put them in. YouTube is a really, really interesting animal when it comes to social. Second largest search engine on the planet. Google, YouTube. Everybody's fighting for third place, right? Bing, Yahoo, I don't know, Alta Vista. Wouldn't that be great? But if you take a second and look at how much control you have over what's in a YouTube video, right? You can title it, you can subscribe to channels, you can thumb up, thumb down, how many views, how many thumb up and thumb down, comments, descriptions, all kinds of stuff going in here. And it didn't used to matter that much, but all of a sudden it got really, really easy. Because I can pull out this phone, click a couple buttons, YouTube, all of you, click one more button, and it's there. And then I can get all of you to go, hey, everybody go thumb up my video. And don't get taken away. If you put up a video and you only get 675 views, 14 thumbs up, 0 down, that's actually not bad. You might still rank a lot more highly than somebody who's got 10,000 views. It's not ranked like that. There's a lot of factors in there. Real SEO, R-E-E-L, SEO.com is a great place to go learn a lot more about this. So this has all of a sudden become very easy, but it's also very real. YouTube is a lot harder to fake than bogus Twitter profiles and sock puppet Facebook accounts. So now we do a lot of videos. I'm getting videotaped right now. Wonder if my boss is going to see this. Next is Twitter. This is as real time as it gets. I feel like Twitter is even more real time than Facebook, simply because it's just so bite-sized, and I'm not putting pictures in. I can't, like, it just moves so much faster, and you go in and out of the flow of Twitter. But like anything else, Twitter is really much more about balance. What we're getting at is search and social, for them to be connected. The search engines are trying to determine what's real and what's not. And we all know that if you go on Twitter, I have 11,000 some odd followers on Twitter. Probably less than 2,000 of those are real people. maybe somewhere at half, 50% and up, are all bogus. And you can find that out. Just go tweet all the hot spam words, right? And all of a sudden stuff's happening and you're getting followed and getting go here to buy that or whatever. Try not to say Viagra too many times in my presentation. So you're getting at a balance and proportion and the coveted retweet. So if you've got a good level of followers to what you're following and how active you are, who you're tweeting at, who's tweeting at you, who's retweeting you, right? That is all about the authority. You get Ashton Kutcher. Is he still huge on, is he still like really giant on Twitter? Anyways, anybody who's really big, Stephen Fry, someone like that, that actually engages with you, that is a real meaningful thing because those are huge Twitter accounts. Those are real. The search engines know that those are a big deal. So we want proportion and balance, what your reach is, all that kind of stuff. The other interesting thing about Twitter is a single tweet has 41, or probably more than that now because you can embed images in different ways that you used to. There's over 40 pieces of data attached to a single tweet. When you did it, where you did it, what's in it, what you wrote in it, who you tweeted at, did you CC someone, all that kind of stuff. So that's a ton of data. And BrightEdge is sucking in all of that. So if you're not on board with what BrightEdge is doing with social, you need to get into that. Jim in the room, is that good enough sucking up for today? Oh, he is too, he's right there. So what does it all mean? At the end of the day, what does this integration of search and social mean? And we've heard this over and over and over again. It's about engagement, sharing, virality, problem solving, customer service, about being real, all these things. Comcast is out there, they got a whole team, Comcast Cares. And I just used them the other day. I was annoyed, I'd been phoning people, trying to get stuff done, nothing was happening. One tweet, problem solved, $800 credit on my bill, victory. But keep in mind, even they are looking at the numbers, right? I know other people that have tweeted at Comcast, they've had no luck. 200 followers, 11,000 followers. Seriously, it's that simple in some instances. Now here's the SEO piece. At the end of the day, you've all been waiting for the SEO piece, right? Links. Links still count. I can still go hit 100,000 blog posts in the comments and get a ranking. It may not last very long, but I'm still gonna get that ranking. So everything we're doing out there engaging, you think about what was in the content session. I believe there's another content session tomorrow. Go find out what that content is. How do we create the content, and then how do we put it into all of this stuff? Because that's the social piece. We build these networks, we build these relationships so that when we put out really cool content, whether it's a video, whether it's a tweet, whether it's an infographic, an article, whatever it is, we can go push it into these networks. And then because we have a nice balanced profile, we're connected to people, people like us, all that kind of stuff, we're popular, that's gonna get retweeted, that's gonna become links on the SEO side. Now they talk a lot about it's all becoming social, links don't count as much, so on and so forth. I'm sorry to say this, SEO and social, as far as a ranking, this is how I look at it. You got this spectrum, this is all the stuff involved between SEO and social. Pure SEO, with links and everything and fundamentals is about here. Right now about this much is social. It's coming. They're getting better and better at it. They're still trying to sort it out. So we got to be out in front of it, but it's about balance, it's about proportion, it's about all these things. And that's what I got for you today.